We should never allow the government to decide what is acceptable speech and what is unacceptable speech. We should penalize behaviors, not opinions, and not speech. If you start trying to regulate speech, you start trying to regulate thoughts, you start trying to regulate beliefs rather than behaviors, there's no way that you're not going to abridge the constitutional rights of millions of Americans.
The usual amount of suits for one flight would number about 15. We have the prime crew of 3 and the backup crew of 3. The prime crew have 3 suits each. One is their flight suit, then they have a backup flight suit and a training suit.
Let me get back to conclusion because we're just about out of time, Mr. Shepard. Are you optimistic about the flight tomorrow? Are you worried about any possible malfunction either up there or down here?
No, I'm very confident. I think it's a very thoroughly tested system, and I think that we have every chance of success, and I would certainly wish them luck on this trip.
15 seconds and counting. The tanks continuing to pressurize in the vehicle. Not as many reports coming now as we all stand by on the launch vehicle test conductor's channel. The third stage is pressurized. 1 minute, 15 seconds. Propellants pressurized at this time as we come up on the 60-second mark on a flight to the moon. Now the engines will ignite almost 9 seconds before liftoff. Counting. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. The vehicle now is completely pressurized. We're coming up on a power transfer shortly. T-minus 50 seconds and counting. We have the power transfer. We're now on the flight batteries within the launch vehicle. 45 seconds. Final reports coming from Frank Borman at this time. Final look at the switch list aboard to the spacecraft. 35 seconds and counting. We'll lead up to an ignition sequence start at 8.9 seconds, which will lead up as we build up the thrust to a liftoff. If all goes well at 0. We just passed the 25-second mark in the count. 20 seconds. All aspects will still go at this time. T-minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So we have ignition sequence start. The engines are armed. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have commit. We have liftoff. Liftoff at 7:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have cleared the top.
Start clear. 13 seconds. 20 seconds out. We get a loud and clear Frank Borman. 32 seconds. Visitor says the S-1C, the first stage looks good. The crew confirms their progress at 50 seconds into the flight. One minute out, Mike Collins tells the crew we're looking good.
1 minute, 15 seconds, and we're a little more than half a mile into the sky and about nearly 4 miles downrange. First stage separation is scheduled to come at about 2.5 minutes into the flight. So we ought to get a good 1 minute for 40 seconds. All looks great. connection, and Frank Borman has confirmed each event as it's been passed to him by Mike Collins at this point. The crew has been given a go for staging. Inboard out on time, Frank Borman says. The inboard engines. 2 minutes, 25 seconds. We see an F1C, the first stage cut off. F2 has ignited, we can confirm. But the thrust looks good, all engines sources show the second stage is burning perfectly. 2 minutes, 51 seconds into the mission. And the first booster has done its work, and now falls back. It's 3 minutes into the flight, the range safety console has been released at the key. 3 minutes into the flight, we're 50 miles high and about 10 miles downrange. Those smaller bursts you saw there were the power jettisoning. 3 minutes and 25 seconds. We have verified that the tower has jettisoned. The crew has verified the tower is jettisoned. Frank Borman says staging was smooth, and he says the ride now is even smoother. Frank McGee, the second stage burned for about 5 minutes, doesn't it? Yes, it gets 90% of its thrust within the first 2 seconds. That is good. It gets busy in a hurry. It should be getting a go for the flight. Communication off the bar has been excellent. It's been a little sparse, but it's been quite sharp and clear. It's 70 miles altitude and about 20 miles or more downrange. Where are we getting this picture, Frank? Is this from that airplane? No, this is from an Air Force camera, tracking camera. And there is a plane up with a camera in it. We hope maybe we can get a shot from it. Right. Best picture I recall. Stay with it an awful long time. Flight Director Cliff Charleswood gets an enthusiastic go from both trajectory and booster at 4 minutes, 50 seconds into the flight. The third stage will ignite to finally push them into orbit, and it will stay with them. Mark 5 minutes. And the crew's advised their trajectory and guidance are looking good, and Frank Borman came back with a very chatty, thank you, Michael. Michael Collins, who would be in the center seat today except for an operation several months ago. 5 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. We had lapsed into an animation of 300 miles downrange. We're nearing 100 miles altitude, and everything looks just grand. We've lost sight of the spacecraft itself. We will use this animation to show the remainder of the sequences. Inside the Mission Control Center at Houston. It is live. This is what they're doing now, and it's here that Paul Haney is giving us the running commentary on the flight. Velocity in feet per second, nearly 15,000 feet per second. We've achieved nearly 60% of the velocity required to make orbit. 57% right now. And we're 96.5 miles above the Earth. We're about 7 minutes into the flight, and that second stage engine continues burning until they're about 8 minutes and 40 seconds into it. So that's another minute 40 seconds to go.
He likes everything he sees. 7 minutes into the flight. And we're nearing the second stage, nearing the point where we will drop off the second stage and light the third stage. That event is to come at about 8 minutes and 40-odd seconds into the flight.
The third stage of 225,000 horses will kick them up to 17,400 miles.
9% of the velocity required. We're 920 miles downrange. And we're 9 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight.
And at 10 minutes in, they've got a go or no-go for achieving orbit. 30 seconds away now.
Flight dynamics officer says our altitude is nominal, which is typically conservative word for very nearly a perfect mission, as nearly as we can observe at this point.
I think I owe a correction there. 225,000 pounds of thrust.
We've just gone to what we call mode 4. If any trouble should develop now, we would go ahead and burn into orbit with our service propulsion engine. The crew is now being advised we plan to cut off the third stage engine at 11 minutes, 28 seconds into the flight. We're now at 10 minutes, 10 seconds. We're at 103.7 nautical miles above the Earth. Our velocity is at an even 24,000 feet per second, which is just very, very close to orbital velocity. That's 95% of it. And we're 1,200 miles downrange, which put us out a little bit east of Bermuda. And 50 seconds, and we've heard from Bill Anders for the first time. He simply said, "How do you read Houston?" And he gets a looking good back from a looking good comment from Mike Collins.
The combination of the pictures, obviously, it was scanned. The reports that we got on what it really looks like up there. You'll notice that the plane trailing away from the third stage doesn't appear to be too large. They tell us that in space it doesn't appear to be too large.
5 minutes, 20 seconds.
They've reported from around the world, challenged the powerful, and they bring all of this to every story that breaks.
We've got breaking news, and it's good news.
And touches your heart.
How do you even say thank you? Thank you is not big enough.
I made this.
Stunned survivors.
Ông hơi đang bên bác về trực tiếp là sao? Tôi theo tôi vậy. Qua học tôi là đấy cho ta.